Hi, my name is Valerie Egger. I'm an English teacher here at Loudoun County High School, and I've been teaching at County for over a decade. Time sure flies. If you're watching this video, it means either you couldn't make it to back to school night or perhaps I couldn't. I have two young kids. You might hear them in the background a little bit. As a teacher, I've learned you always should be prepared, so I've made this video just in case something happened and I couldn't get to back to school night, and if you didn't make it, it'll be on my website all year. I love being an English teacher because it allows me to combine my two great loves, which is reading and writing. I am an author in my spare time and an editor, and being an English teacher allows me to do that all the time, and I really like sharing that passion with the students. I try to stay super organized, and so if your son or daughter is ever absent, there's a couple things they can do to find out what they missed. The first thing is they should be enrolled in my Vision course. So it's Loudoun Vision. They can access that through LCPS Go. And if they go to the Vision site and enroll in my course will be listed under their courses. And so they can click on the calendar link on the calendar day for when they were absent, and they'll find an agenda is already posted. And the agenda will list what we did that day, and it will also have hyperlinks to any handouts that we went over. You'll also notice that in the file cabinet toward the back of the classroom, each student has a folder. It's organized by class, and any handouts that I give out that day or any returned work, if they're absent, I'll stick it in their folder. So if they're ever out, that's the first thing they should do. Check Vision and then check their folder. If they have any questions after that, of course they can ask. So AP Literature is a course that it definitely prepares students to analyze literature, but it also really prepares them to think and write critically about anything, and I think it really will help them in college. In AP Literature, the focus is on not just what a text says, but how it's saying its message. I like to compare it to Star Wars, the whole Jedi mind trick, when some of the main characters kind of wave their hands and sort of trick the antagonists that they're looking for the wrong droids, the wrong robots. So authors are doing the same thing. Whenever you read a text and you feel a certain way or react a certain way, you're being manipulated to feel that way. So we look at why. How is the author doing that? Why is the author doing it? What is the message, of course, but also how is that message being conveyed? So in this class, we're doing a lot of critical writing, critical thinking, and critical reading. So I always tell students that I can help them understand how to read a text more critically. I can help them learn to hone their writing skills to make them more efficient and effective. Really, the only thing I can't do in this class, and I emphasize this a lot, is I can't read the text for them. And so already at this point in the year, I've either overheard students telling each other they didn't do the actual reading, or it's kind of implied by conversations with them that they didn't fully finish the text. The course is called AP Literature, so it's essential that they read the text. It's really the foundation of everything. Class discussions, group work, analysis. Every activity that we do is preparing them with skills. It's not about memorizing formulas. We don't have a certain type of text that we have to teach or a certain title that has to be taught. It's all about skills because the AP exam gives them works that they haven't read. It's all about, can you analyze a work that you have never seen before? The students for their first quarter have a 9-week syllabus that tells us what we're doing each day for the first 9 weeks of school. So even if there's no homework immediately, there's probably a reading they could be doing. Pretty soon we'll be starting our first novel, and basically from that point on, there's always going to be one novel per quarter, sometimes two if they're shorter novels, that we'll be reading, and I'll always give them due dates way ahead of time. So if there's no homework that's immediately due, there's probably something they can be doing to read ahead. A lot of times students don't necessarily plan ahead or look ahead, so if they have a big game or something one night, they should be looking ahead about that. You know, if I have a big game that night, what can I do ahead of time? So there's not homework every night, but there's usually reading they can be doing, and that goes back to my previous point. It's really important to do the reading. It's the foundation of everything. In AP Literature, just like a college class, you need to read things multiple times. So the first reading is when it's assigned at home, and then when they come into class, there's going to be activities that force them to go back into the text. They shouldn't be reading the text for the first time when we're discussing it in class. So it's very important if you're trying to emphasize anything to your son or daughter, that's the important thing to emphasize about this class. It's AP Literature. You should definitely read. The AP exam, I'm sure that counseling has already reached out to you. The AP exam is a little bit different this year. Registration opens and closes much earlier, so students actually have to decide within the next month if they're taking the exam or not. It's a challenge for students and teachers to kind of gauge whether they should be or not. I have already written on several students' essays. This is really strong for this early in the year. You should really think about taking the AP exam. Just because I haven't written that doesn't mean they shouldn't. Basically, everyone has improved, and I do mean that. Every single student has improved over the first month of school. Their analytical skills are improving, their critical thinking skills are improving. The fair thing about this test, it's not about memorization. It's all about applying skills, and so the more we practice it in class, the better they get. So literally every student will improve over the course of the school year. So if they're on the fence, I encourage them to take the AP exam.